So hello and welcome to another FranSimsca speed build. In today's video we are going to be building the Dragonfly Inn from Gilmore Girls. It's the town bed and breakfast run by Lorelai Gilmore, like Rory's mom, one of the main characters. If you're not familiar with the show, hopefully you are, because I think that this would make this video a little bit more exciting to watch. Otherwise you're just kind of watching me stress over minute details for a random bed and breakfast, when in reality, I'm stressing over minute details for a very popular bed and breakfast, the Dragonfly Inn. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And I have not recorded a voiceover in like 2 weeks. I'm going to be posting this much later on, but right now all the George Floyd protests are happening, and I have put a pause on releasing videos on my own channel right now, so had some time to not be doing this. So getting right back into it. It's probably going to be a little bit down the line when this video does come out, so hello from the future, hello from the past. So yeah, so I initially, when I decided to do this, I had on my list of wanting to build, I had a bed and breakfast on that list. And the day that I was going to do this video, I was like, you know what? A bed and breakfast is great. You know what's even better is a bed and breakfast that is from a TV show, a widely popular TV show. So here I am making the Dragonfly Inn from Gilmore Girls. So it really took a turn. I believe I said to my fiance, I was like, why do something easy when I can make it 20,000 times more complicated? And I knew immediately, just because of how many times I've watched Gilmore Girls, that this was going to be an undertaking, because it is a very cluttered bed and breakfast. It is, the number of things on the walls is crazy. So I do download a lot of art from the gallery, which I usually do, but like this was to the umpteenth degree. I don't film me going into the gallery and selecting artwork, but you'll shortly see that I have a absurd amount of artwork in the backyard of this build, just outside. And I think I didn't cut out me pulling in all the artwork. Maybe I should have, but because I clutter it as we go along. Oh, you can already tell. So I did find some really interesting letter work. So I was able to like type or draw out, place out the Dragonfly Inn like behind the check-in area, which was really cool because that's like it is in real life. So yeah, you can see the number of paintings behind the build. Because yeah, I just clutter as we go. So before I started this, obviously I looked up like floor plans, I looked up pictures and stuff like that. The floor plans that I was finding have like two rooms in it that I don't think that we ever see as like watchers of the show. And I don't know actually if this is like a set or if this was a real building. I'm actually not sure. I'm sure it was a set, but it might be in a real building. I'm not totally sure. But yeah, according to all of the floor plans that I could find online, there are two rooms that we pretty much never see. One is behind the check-in area. It looked kind of like a library-ish area. Maybe it had some like computers and stuff in it. I know that a lot of like hotels will have will have like, oh, you can print stuff here and fax and whatever. And since Stars Hollow is like very like not olden times, but like isn't, I don't feel like this, like Gilmore, this episode came out, or like the Dragonfly Inn premiered essentially like when people were still faxing. Maybe it did, but I feel like that's too long ago. But it is very like, this town, Stars Hollow, is very like someone would be sending a fax. So I totally get why they have that, but we never see it. So that is one room that I had omitted. Other than that, it's pretty much, and obviously the number of rooms, I'm not entirely sure how many rooms are actually in the Dragonfly Inn. All of the floor plans that I could find were only of the second floor, or only of the first floor. So really the upstairs is just kind of like my interpretation. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, for downstairs, there's like one room. There is a door, like basically right here, where like off to the right there, where there's nothing, where there would be like an entryway essentially for, or a door entry for like that room. That's the only one that I omitted. The other room that we never see, but that I did include because I thought it made sense to include in The Sims, was there's a similar room but larger behind the dining area. So the dining area is, so this is the living area that we're doing right now, and I'll talk about that in a second, but the dining area is just to the left, and then right behind that I included, I think the only TV. I didn't include TVs in all of the rooms upstairs just because I feel like, again, just having watched the show so many times and, you know, knowing, I don't know her, but knowing like Lorelai Gilmore and Suki. Oh my God, I said like Snooki, like from frickin' Jersey Shore. Yeah, it's Snooki? Suki. Oh my gosh, maybe I should rewatch the show. I was thinking I've rewatched it so many times, but if I'm able to forget one of the main characters' names, maybe I should give it an old rewatch. Yeah, so Lorelai and Suki. That sounds wrong, but that's her name, right? Melissa McCarthy's character is Suki. That sounds wrong. Um, I don't know. But just knowing how they are, I can't imagine them putting TVs in all of the rooms upstairs. But I might be wrong. If you were to download this build and use it as either, you could definitely use it as a residential, but if you wanted to use it as a community lot, you could add more TVs regardless. But yeah, the only room that has a TV is the little area that I don't think we ever see in the show, which is behind the dining area, and I put some computers in there as well. I have desks in all of the rooms upstairs, but I didn't do computers. I figure if you're on vacation or whatever, you'll probably bring your own laptop, so Sims can always have like a laptop in their inventory, or it could be computers in, so really up to you. So back to the build. So I kept it as true as possible in the living area. I feel like this is one of the areas that you see the most, like really those front two rooms, like the check-in area that Lorelai's always at, and then this living area. So I do try to keep like the layout as true as possible. Again, there were floor plans online and there were pictures online, but the way that I drew a map essentially while watching the episode of Gilmore Girls where they're opening for the first time, but they're doing like the soft opening and they're having all of like the townspeople come and stay before they open to the public. So everything is based off of that. So I'm sure things change, like not necessarily like layout, but I'm sure decor kind of changes a little bit later on in the seasons. But I watched that episode, and then the other thing that I watched was the episode where Suki, which still sounds wrong, Suki is pregnant and about to give birth and on bed rest, and Luke takes over the kitchen because she can't cook and because she can't stand, and she is like being such a micromanager that she stays in one of the rooms upstairs and is having her staff bring her taste of everything that Luke makes before it goes out because she's so, controlling. Um, I did watch that one because it was the only one that I could remember where we saw the rooms. And for the rooms, I was like, you know what? It's a quilted bed. It's still the same wallpaper basically as downstairs, which I was actually surprised with how close I was able to get to the wallpapers. But I was like, I'm just gonna kind of freehand, if you will, the upstairs areas. But again, the downstairs, like the dining room is pretty much how it is. I think there might be a couple less tables. This is the room that I don't think we ever see. And I just imagined it like I made it work for The Sims. I was like, I imagine it has maybe a TV and some desks and some computers for faxing and stuff. So that's what I did in here. These are the only two computers and these are the only two, or the only one TV in the build. And it was a really fun thing to build. Like, I love Gilmore Girls. I have, like, if you haven't noticed by me saying it or 1,000 times already that I've watched it so many times, I've watched it so many times. Even me rewatching like a couple of episodes for like the purposes of building this build, I was like already sucked back in, but also kind of at the same in the same breath also kind of like, well, I've seen this so many times. I don't want to watch it again, but I maybe do want to watch it again at some point. Um, Also, I should say, since we're getting now to the kitchen, it's my own fault because I should have looked what came in the kitchen. Like, I forget what the stuff pack is called, like cool kitchen stuff or something like that. I should have looked, but when it's called like cool kitchen stuff, I assume that it's going to be cool kitchen stuff. And I know that like a lot of the stuff is new to me that I'm talking about because I still don't have all the packs. Like, this is a new channel. I'm not dropping thousands of dollars. Like, I get a couple packs here and there. Um, so yeah, I got the cool kitchen pack and was expecting it to be way better than it is. Um, I got it because I'm kind of bored with a lot of the stuff that I've been working with, like for kitchens, and I feel like I kind of always do like the same couple things with the kitchen. So I was like, I want something new. Um, I was still at the time waiting for Eco Lifestyle to come out. I was like, I want something new. So I got it, and I will say I use a lot of the items because I feel like I had to get my money's worth because I specifically got it for this build because the kitchen again is such a like big part of the show. Like, we see a lot of the stuff that we see in the kitchen. Like I was saying, it was really those two rooms up front, but it is a lot in the kitchen too. Also, you'll see here I cut away and then cut back. I placed those red shelves. I've probably talked in other videos about how I just feel like I'm not good at using the red shelf. I removed the mod. Um, I have I had to for Eco Lifestyle and for the update and everything, but I'm not putting it back. I need someone to teach me how to use it or something because I'm just not good at it. But I will say this is the best I've felt about using it. And I do put real shelves in and remove the red ones in a little while, but initially getting stuff on there, I was like, this is actually the most helpful these have been. Um, but yeah, back to the crappy stuff pack. What is up with that? It's not good. Like, if you're going to say cool kitchen stuff, which I'm pretty sure that's the name of it, I'm not totally sure actually, but I'm pretty sure it's called like cool kitchen stuff. There better be cool kitchen stuff. Like, there's just not that much. Like, I don't know how much the other stuff packs come with, but I feel like more than this. Like, all the stuff that I pulled out, by the way, is just to clutter up the space because, like I said, it is a very cluttered build. And then you think about all of the scenes that you see with the kitchen. Like, the kitchen is like insanely cluttered. There's always like 15,000 meals being prepped. There's always like books everywhere and coffee and food and dirt, I put dirty dishes. Like, there's always so much stuff in the background. So I wanted to do that here too. But I will say I delete a lot of this because I just started pulling out crap, and I use like the good crap and then I get rid of the rest of the crap. You'll also notice, because I just noticed, because like I said, I haven't done a voiceover in forever. I built this like 2 weeks ago, so this is kind of like a refresher for me too. I'm like, ah, cool. But you'll notice, because I just noticed, that there is a pan with like a muffin pan right there under that cabinet that I took out, and then I went to go place it somewhere or even delete it, and I can't grab it. It's one of those items, and this happened to me before, but I've been able to like Control Z enough for it to go away, like undo. But I think I was so far into it when I noticed that it was there that I was not able to. But this is one of those things, I think it's a debug item where you pull it out and you're not able to delete it. And then once you move like a sim into the build, they'll be able to like clean it up. So that's a good reminder actually. I'll move a sim into this build. I have to anyway because I have not taken screenshots yet. But I'll get a sim to clean that up before I upload this to the gallery, because I remember that when I was building this being like, I can't move that. Like, I literally, and I'm not gonna just stop now. I'm gonna keep going and I'll figure it out later. And here we are weeks later and I've still not done anything about it. So I will do that. Um, so yeah, the kitchen was super fun to build. I will say I usually don't do this kind of craziness when I build regular builds, and I was even a little bit hesitant to do it now because all of that stuff that's in the kitchen, like all the food, the second you move a sim into this lot, they're gonna clean it all up. So it's kind of like for nothing, but it's also really pretty, and I wanted to. So I did. Um, and as you'll see, I'm back to my old ways. I did not build the entire shell of this before I started putting everything inside. I very much was piecemealing it together as I went, um, including right now. Like, oof, I remember I'm like not PTSD, but like this was a big build for me. This took a really long time. Replicating stuff from like TV or movies or the real world like always takes a long time, but this really did take forever. Like this took, I don't even want to say how many hours. It took me a long time to do this. But and I'm also remembering that I missed something. I'll call it out once we get there. But I remember thinking, like, you know, when you do something and then like that night you're about to go to sleep and you're like, I forgot the. I had a moment where I was like, I forgot the. So there's a couple things I need to go back and fix before I go take screenshots and upload this to the gallery. But overall, I think I did a pretty good job. I am very proud of myself, and I do want to play in this build because it's very different. I meant to say that earlier on. It's very different than what I normally do, and it's very differently styled than I would ever style. And here's the fun part where I replace all of the doors and windows and everything that I had worked so hard on, and I have to replace 1,000 things, but that's what I get for not looking at the styling of things before and just choosing things. I was like, oh, they have shutters. I need shutters. So I have to replace everything and then re-put the curtains back on. That was fun. But yeah, this build gave me an opportunity to use, I don't want to say the ugly stuff, but this build gave me the opportunity to use a lot of the less modern, less nice objects that I don't typically go for. Um, you'll see definitely when I start doing the rooms upstairs, the bed, I don't even know what pack it's from. I think it's from a pack I recently got. It might be Movie Night, it might be Parent, I don't know. But the bed that I use, I remember when I first saw it being like, I will never use this. It's the quilted one. But then when I saw that Suki was, still sounds wrong, Sogi was in a bed with a quilt, I was like, oh, perfect. I can finally use that. So, and even downstairs, like I never use, well, really the whole build, I never use wallpaper, or I rarely use wallpaper. And if I do, I try to make it like an accent wall, like having this crazy wallpaper all over the build, like never do that. Having so much mismatched, it goes against everything that I feel to be true in my heart. Usually I try to match things even to a fault, to where like at the end I have to throw in some color or throw in something funky, because like I'll get very like it's white or it's black, or sometimes I'll get like that. Sometimes I'm much better, but again, this just gave me an opportunity to use everything that I never use, to do things that I never usually do, and it was very fun. It was a labor of love, but it was very fun. Um, so yeah, I think a lot of this roofing stuff changes too. I think I extend, or I might do it right now. I extend some of the rooms. So I do 4 rooms upstairs, and obviously since it's like a hotel Airbnb, not Airbnb, um, what, but B&B, just regular B&B. Um, I was like, well, everyone needs their own bathroom, so it's a 4-4. No, it's a 4-5 because there's a half bath downstairs. Which I saw in the layout, but it is in a different area. But one of the things that I was saying that I missed was I don't think I put planters, like plant boxes, outside of the windows on the top story, on the second story, which I remember the pictures had planters, and I think that there is an object to do that. I'm almost positive. So I need to add that. I'll add it for the screenshots. I gotta remember to do that. Um, Another thing that I thought was super fun with this build was the landscaping. I saved it for last, obviously. I wanted to make sure that I knew where everything was, because that's like the worst thing ever when you do a ton of landscaping and then you have to like because it's not like a room, like you can't move it. I mean, I guess you could probably put like a room around it and then move it, but that's a pain in the butt. So again, waited till the last second to do that, and there is this fountain and I make like a whole fountain moment. I love it. There is like this like walkway, not walkway. I don't know, like a trellis almost. I think that's what they're called. Um, by the stairs, like that you walk under and make that. I don't think I filmed me making that because it was very like, it was, oof, God. Yeah, not having PTSD from this, but also kind of remembering everything and being like, wow, I can't believe I spent so much time on that. Look, that can be said for like everything that I do in The Sims. But yeah, this fountain is super fun. I do like on either side, very symmetrical. Like garden bed type of thing. And then I don't know if anyone watching again is familiar with Gilmore Girls and has thought to themselves, will she make the barn? And I do. Specifically, like I said, the TV show, what am I saying? The episode, that's what it's called, the TV show. The episode that I watched to help with this, because I could only get so much information online, the episode that I watched to base this off of was the first one. And in that one, they do make like a whole big stank about the barn because, you know, all the guests, all their friends and family from Stars Hollow are arriving and they're like, oh, you should go to the barn, schedule a ride with Desdemona and oh God, what's the other horse's name? I'm actually surprised I remember Desdemona, but that's a very like. But anyway, they mentioned having two horses and in the barn, and I will say I do not film myself the screen whatever. I don't film doing the barn. I'll include several screenshots so you can see, but I make the barn. I really half-ass the barn. It's just a small red house off to the side of this house, but I was like, I can't, unfortunately, with like cats and dogs, like it really is just cats and dogs. I don't remember in Sims, was it 2 or 3, where we had like just pets or whatever, but I think that there was a horse option. Am I making that up? I also used to play a video game when I was really little, where it was like Barbie and she was like riding horses, so maybe I'm just confusing that, which would be weird, but yeah, there's no horses in The Sims 4, so I just do like a small, small, weird barn that could have horses. I make like a whole, what's their thing called? Where do they sleep? Like a little, what's the area inside of a barn called? I don't know, where a horse goes. Like their rooms. I make two little horse rooms in the barn, and that's it. You could gut it. It would take 2 seconds, and you could put whatever you want. You could put more rooms. You could put a second kitchen. You could do whatever you want out there. You could bulldoze it. But I went from I don't want to make the barn. It's just wasted space to being like, I have to give Desdemona and her friend a place to stay. So again, half-assed that barn out there. I you'll see me making it, but I do not film the interior. It's not exciting at all. But I will include screenshots so you can see it if you don't download this build, which unless you're like a huge Gilmore Girls fan, like I don't know. This is like it's just kind of like if you're not a huge Gilmore Girls fan, then this is just an ugly house. This is a weird, ugly house. It's not though. It kind of is. It kind of is. It's not though. I like it. I want to play in it just because it's different. And I should also say the way that I decorated all of these rooms, because like I was like, you know, it's a hotel room, and I'm familiar with, you know, the back end of hotels, you know, a little bit because of what I do for work, but I'm just like, there are sometimes, you know, different styles of rooms. You know, there's like the queen room, you know, room with a queen, two queens, a king. So I didn't do that. I did a double bed in all of the rooms, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick a different swatch for all of these beds. I'm gonna pick, you know, a couple different dressers and do different swatches of the dressers. Same thing with everything is basically like the same but different. It's very the same but different. There's two blue rooms, there's two, you know, red rooms. All the curtains are the same as downstairs, but different swatches. Like I wanted to mesh a little. And then I had used so much more custom, but not custom, artwork from the gallery than I thought I was going to. Like, when I pulled out all of that, I was like, whew, I'll be more than fine. And I ended up using almost all of it, I believe, or all of it, in the build. So but I did use quite a bit of The Sims art as well, that comes with the game, which was great because luckily I hadn't used any of it yet. So basically everything I use, was only used once, which is important to me. You know, I wanted it to look nice, even though it's an ugly house if you don't like Gilmore Girls. But yeah, this is again, like, it's such a cluttered mess that even like the hallway, I wanted it to be cluttered with pictures. Even the upstairs landing area, um, what's it called? Yeah, like the landing area for the stairs. What's that? I don't know, a hallway? I guess it's called a hallway. I wanted that to be cluttered as well. Like this little hallway. There's a couple of hallways. I just kind of realized that there's a few hallways here. I wanted everything to be cluttered up because that's how it is in, I was going to say real life, the show. Um, and I mean, I got it really close. Like the floor plan, I think I got really, really close. I wasn't able to get it exactly. Um, Anyone that's familiar with building The Sims will know that there are weird certain things that we can't do, and this was also before the update where we can free move like doors and windows and everything, which I think would have been really helpful for this, honestly, because there was a couple times where I was like, just F it, I'll make the room a little bit bigger just so I can have this centered and stuff like that, which is annoying, but overall, very happy with this build. Think it's super cool. I've never used the jukebox in any build before. Why would I? I should do some more not residential ones too. Like, let me know if you've gotten this far in the video. Let me know what non-residential builds you think would be cool to do. I think people do tons of bars, tons of restaurants. Now we got an Airbnb. Not an Airbnb, it's just a regular B&B. I guess it could be an Airbnb. This actually would be really cool if you have Jungle Pack. I wonder, can you place this? Can you do that? Can you put these in a vacation world? That'd be cool. Then you could like vacation in this house. That'd be awesome. We're nearing the end, and I still have not done the barn. That shows you how little time I spent on the barn. I spent more time landscaping than I have on this stupid barn. I am pretty proud of this landscaping, though. I very rarely do like the whole let me enclose it in rocks thing, and I do like it. I will be doing this more often. I think it looks very, very nice. It really helped pull everything together. And something else that I did not record at all, but included in this build was there are 4 rooms upstairs. I totally forgot about this. There are 4 rooms upstairs, but they mention in the episode that I've been referring to, the first one where they have people stay, they mention a more private room with its own entrance out back because Emily's parents are feuding, or not Emily's parents, Lorelai's parents are feuding, and she sends them out there to try to like make them reconcile. So there is actually a 5th room, so I apologize and I misspoke. So yeah, this is the barn that I spent 0 time on, and the video is coming to an end. I will add tons of screenshots of this rather large build, and I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Let me know what else you would like me to be doing, and thank you for watching.